Hello and welcome to another episode of Between the Studs. I'm your host Mark. Today I'm joined by Zach, aka Nexus to Zach.
Hello there.
And we're going to be covering one of LEGO's many themes. Kind of like how we did with Gus and Joe with themes like Knights Kingdom 2, Power Miners, and Star Wars solo sets. But this case we're covering the very interesting theme of Pharaohs Quest. And who better to have than one of the biggest Pharaohs Quest fans that I know to talk about it. And actually, these are pretty much all of his sets here. I think we have one box from Atlanta Breakout, but everything else is from your personal collection.
Yes, I apologize but the Pyramids box was left at my mom's.
Yeah, you have it. It's just not currently in a convenient place to pick up for the video. So
yes.
Yeah, no worries. So Zach, I'm a big fan of Pharaohs Quest, but I didn't know too much about it before going into this video and kind of prepping for it. What is the story for Pharaohs Quest for you? What was the big draw? Is it nostalgia? Did you have it as a kid? What's the background there?
My ancestor is Harry Burton, the guy who photographed King Tutankhamen's tomb in the Valley of the Kings.
Wow, that's a very personal connection then. Wow.
Yes, so he's my father's mother's cousin, so he's like a great uncle. You know, it's one of those where distant related, but you know, it's like still notable.
Yeah, a connection to a very notable historical person. That's interesting.
Yeah, so Harry Burton was the photographer, like I said, in the Valley of the Kings for Tutankhamun. Mm-hmm. And when I learned that, I was like, my ancestor did that?
Yeah.
That's so cool. Oh my gosh.
That's amazing.
So that was one of my big draw-ins on ancient Egypt. Mm-hmm. You know, I love Egypt, Greece, Rome, you name it.
All the ancient locations.
All the peninsula and the Mediterranean.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
And for LEGO, for me, I was really into things like Star Wars, Aqua Raiders, Atlantis, because I was, right early 2000s.
This was the years, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The golden age.
Exactly.
But one thing that I always will regret to this day that I didn't get to, purchase any sets was LEGO Adventurers. Mm-hmm. Because, LEGO Adventurers Desert theme came out in 98. Yeah, I'm wearing the shirt. And I'm like, I love Adventurers. So I got a couple of the Orient Expedition sets because that was, the last line was like 2003, 2004. Mm-hmm. After that, I didn't have any connection to LEGO Adventures because I didn't even know half of them existed. Yeah,
they predated your time playing with LEGO by a long shot, yeah. So.
Yeah, they came out in 98. I was born in 99, so...
you're going to miss them, yeah.
I missed it anyway.
Yeah.
But LEGO Adventures, when I was, looking it up, I'm like, this is a really cool theme. Mm-hmm. How did I miss this?
Exactly.
And then around 2011 was, I was a middle schooler now. I'm starting to make a decent profit from my allowance, stuff like that.
A little spending money.
Yeah, a little spending money.
Yeah.
So I was like, I want to branch out and do different things with LEGO other than just LEGO Star Wars.
Yeah.
When Pharaohs Quest came out, and I learned that Pharaohs Quest, I thought it was an original line. It is original line. Mm-hmm. But I didn't realize this was a continuation of LEGO Adventurers in many ways.
Absolutely. A spiritual successor in many different factors, for sure. And
with me, just learning, I'm related to this cool guy that's photographed the pharaohs. I'm like, what better way to, enjoy ancient Egypt than with LEGO?
Exactly. It was a very good timing. And it also has a very personal connection. And then because it was your middle school, you're just going to have some nostalgia for you nowadays, right? So.
Exactly.
Awesome.
So, around 2011, I only got around maybe 3-4 sets.
A couple of them, yeah.
So it was mostly the smaller ones here. The Scarab attack, Golden Staff Guardian, Flying Wing Mummies attack, and Cursed Cobra. Yeah. I didn't get the big sets because, I'm a middle schooler.
Yeah.
I'm a middle schooler. I didn't exactly have all the money in the world.
$100 back then was quite a pocket full of cash for a little kid. So, yeah.
Yes. And when I was doing my research and I saw the prices and how much they've skyrocketed, I was like, oh my gosh. Whew.
Exactly. Some really desirable sets. I think you can see from those aftermarket prices for sure.
Definitely. I'd say the most expensive is... I'll get the box real quick.
Oh, yeah.
is the pyramid.
Mm-hmm.
So this pyramid, when it came out, was only $100,
Mm-hmm.
and now it sells for about $400 to $500, depending on how the
Condition,
the
the
quality.
seller, yep.
That's how crazy the sky has, skyrocketed in prices.
Exactly. So it's gone up a lot, but you've gone to great lengths to collect the ones that you lacked as a kid.
I
Now,
have.
So the smaller sets here, are these the ones that you had as a kid, or are these the ones that you purchased later? Like you had to kind of recollect some of them? Is that the
So
case?
I got this one, the Cursed Cobra, when I was a little kid. That's why it's one of the very few I have opened.
Mm-hmm.
I acquired this one from the store. There's a little story about
A long series of events.
A long
right?
series of events that happened when I got this Lego set. So this set here is the Scorpion Pyramid, set 7327. And it
You
has
have that memorized?
Oh yeah, I have all of them memorized.
That's awesome. I don't think I could memorize the set numbers that quickly. That's awesome.
So this is set 7327. It came out in 2011 around January.
Yeah,
So
earlier in the year.
That's when they all came out. It was one wave sets.
Mhm.
There were 6 sets, 2 poly bags, and 1 blister pack.
And a
And
couple
they
of
all
other
released
things,
around
too.
the same time.
Yeah, like the coin drop. You had maybe some magnets, a few other things like that to go with it.
Magnets, coin drop, a few stickers,
Yeah.
a few
Very
keychains.
But this was the biggest one, and it was $100. So,
Yes.
like we said, expensive back then. You didn't get it at the time, but you were able to get it later.
I wish I did.
Now, what are some of the parts of this set that speak to you? Because there's a number of things that are really catching my eye, but what's some of your favorite details here?
Well, for me, the biggest piece is the treasure, the Nemesis headdress.
Yeah, the Egyptian crown, the Pharaoh's crown, yeah.
So,
really cool.
if you don't know Pharaoh's Quest, the story is this evil guy,
The Pharaoh.
right here, Amset Ra, has been sentenced to death, and he's been imprisoned in his sarcophagi for like a millennia.
Mm-hmm.
But he was destined to return one day. So Amset Ra, because he was this really bad, evil pharaoh,
Tyrant guy.
guy, he like a dictator almost.
Mm-hmm.
He hoarded all this treasure. He wanted all the treasure in the land.
All the
He's like-
magical items, yeah.
he said it was his, but that wasn't enough.
Mhm.
He wanted more. So he got these magical people to come and bewitch his treasure so he could get more power, more stuff.
Exactly. More conquering potential, yeah.
More conquering potential. And the Nemesis headdress is one of 6 objects that were bewitched. And if he gains the power of each 6 objects when he returns, he would come back to life and ascend back to the throne.
And be unstoppable, yeah.
And he would be unstoppable, world domination. It'd be bad.
Yeah, terrible outcome for everybody.
But the Nemesis headdress has the power to allow him to see the future, foresight.
Yeah.
This was the only piece that was left in the pyramid with Amset Ra. But when he was imprisoned by, his loyal subjects, I guess they weren't very loyal.
Yeah, back in the day. So, yeah.
Obviously, one of the biggest things you can note before we go into minifigures is, this scorpion.
Giant scorpion.
Giant scorpion.
Mm-hmm.
But with these claws comes one of the best parts about this Lego set, and it's that printed piece.
Yes.
All of these are printed pieces on the scorpion.
Mm-hmm. They could have been stickers, but because they had those angles, it was probably better to print them.
Yeah, they spared us some struggling.
Yeah.
You notice there are many stickers along the set in many areas,
Mm-hmm.
but everything on this Guardian, the Scorpion Guardian, is printed.
Yeah. Very nice.
And another thing to note is that these pieces are in dark tan.
Mm-hmm.
This was the first time they made these pieces in dark tan,
Yes.
even though they were printed.
Mm-hmm. That is pretty cool.
So that's why I say, the Scorpion, the Nemesis headpiece, these are very big eye catchers. The other eye catcher for this Lego set, to me at least, is the minifigures.
Oh, yeah.
This Anubis guard right here is completely exclusive to this set alone.
Mm-hmm.
And this is why this set can go for $400 to $500.
These two bad
These
boys
two
right
bad
here.
boys right here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, if you notice, Mark, if you hold up close,
Mm-hmm.
you can see that there's red pupils on the headpiece.
Glowing red eyes, yeah.
That represents that they're bewitched.
Mm-hmm.
So Anubis guards, if they have red eyes, they're bewitched.
Interesting.
Also, you notice the leg print and the torso print. they're very impressive because, they're just, even though they're just black torso and legs, they still have really detailed printing, with the abs, the neck piece, the cloth.
Yeah, gold and dark blue elements really looking good on these torsos and legs, yeah, for sure.
And the other thing to note about these minifigures is, of course, I'll try my best to get it off. It's the headpiece. So this is one whole head mold.
Yeah.
And what I've seen people do at conventions is they take the head mold and they put it on statues.
Mm-hmm.
So they just put it on a bunch of Lego bricks and make it look like ancient jackal statues, ancient jackal artifacts, that sort of stuff.
Super cool.
So this head mold piece is more exclusive to the set and is probably going to range from probably $70 to $80 alone.
Exactly. They've gone up so much in the past couple of years. It's really impressive. So.
Now, I'm lucky to have at least 6 of these bad boys.
Oh, wow. So you're contributing to that skyrocketing price a little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah. Hey, I don't blame you. These are awesome. So.
Put this guy back.
Mm-hmm. The other figures are great, too. You got a couple of the characters. You got the Pharaoh, of course, and a flying mummy as well. So.
Yeah, so this guy's name is Archibald Hale,
mm-hmm.
and he's exclusive to this set also.
Interesting.
He wasn't in any of the other sets, any of the other polybags, any of the promotional items. So if you want to get the last member of Jake Rain's adventure team, you have to get this set.
Kind of a harder figure to get for those on a budget, I'm guessing, yeah.
Yeah. So on the aftermarket, Archibald Hale goes for around $60 new. Now if you get it used, most of the time the arms will be cracked, or the torso will be cracked.
It'll be in used condition.
Yeah, it'll be in used condition. Mm-hmm. But if you notice, he's holding this impressive tile piece.
Yeah, the
so
map.
I'll hold it up for the camera to see.
Yeah. We'll get hopefully some B-roll zoom in on that.
Gotcha.
So, yeah.
So this tile piece, it has the scorpion pyramid, it has the jackal Sphinx,
mm-hmm.
and it has the obelisk, the impossible climbing obelisk.
Yes.
This tile piece is exclusive to this set also.
Mm-hmm.
And I really think that's cool. I like maps. I'm a bit of an amateur cartographer in some areas.
Mm-hmm.
But this map piece,
ties it all together.
It ties together. It shows that they were following the route and they knew where things were.
That's probably the whole purpose of their adventure. Maybe Archibald found that in the libraries, and that's what started the whole thing. You never know. So
a lot of people would think our main hero right here, Jake Rains,
mm-hmm.
he's the guy who set the whole expedition to find the Pharaoh. That's not the case. In fact, Jake doesn't even believe in pharaohs. He doesn't believe in mummies. He doesn't believe in ancient curses.
He didn't at first, maybe.
Yeah, he didn't at first.
Yeah.
Getting up close and personal probably changed his opinion.
These guys blocking the entrance might have changed his mind a little bit.
So Archibald Hale, he found the ancient text in a library or a museum.
Mm-hmm.
So he works in a museum in civilized area,
mm-hmm.
and he found the ancient curse. And he enlisted the help of Jake and McLoud, who you will see later.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, he's right here.
He's in the Halftrack.
Yeah, he's in the Halftrack.
McLoud.
So he enlists the help of Jake and Mac to locate all the relics and prevent Omset Ra from returning and causing world domination and destruction.
Yeah, trying to save the world kind of thing. So, yeah.
And then also he hires Helena Tona Scavalling.
Mm-hmm.
Who's like this rival to Jake.
Interesting. So they kind of have a little bit of a rivalry there. That's fun.
Like bumping skulls or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Heads, and they don't really agree with a lot of things.
Interesting. So, yeah, but she wasn't in the main set. She was in a slightly smaller set. So
Helena only showed up in one other set,
mm-hmm.
which was the Cursed Cobra.
Yeah.
But we'll get to the Cursed Cobra after we get through the next biggest set.
Mm-hmm.
So, continuing with Scorpion Pyramid, you have your minifigures, you have the Nimi's headdress, you have the cool Scorpion. Let's talk about this base plate, though.
Yes.
This base plate was the last model they chose to be used for raised base plates
mm-hmm.
and all of Lego.
Yeah, the last time we got to see these sort of controversial, yet I think pretty cool raised base plates. Yeah.
Now, these raised base plates, it was a pretty common thing back in the day. I saw in Lego City, Indiana Jones,
mm-hmm.
Space, all these different themes had raised base plates, made it easier.
Mm-hmm.
And the Adventures line had very unique raised base plates.
A number of them, yeah. So.
But since this was the last model, they reused it in many sets in the early 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
So you may see this raised base plate in like Indiana Jones. It was also used in a Lego City hospital and police station.
Yeah.
But it was in dark bluish gray.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I do like the dark tan color. And I think I remember seeing, I was doing some research before we started on this one, Zach, but this base plate wasn't designed for this pyramid. But it looks like it was.
It really does.
Because they did such a good job integrating it with the base plate. I think this is like the most successful use of a raised base plate in a set. I think it definitely is an argument to be made that makes sense.
Mm.
But
I mean, arguably, because I have the Indiana Jones set that this also comes in.
Mm-hmm.
This set integrated with the pyramid is far superior, in my opinion, because of how they integrated, the raising of everything. Even the obelisk itself comes out on this weird extension right here.
Mm-hmm.
And it just looks like it was meant to be.
Exactly. It fits it so well. So great set design overall for that whole assembly of parts and base plate and a perfect fusion.
So you may notice this weird contraption, this weird vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
This is what we call a half-track. Now during World War I, World War II era, you're using these in
using these in North
they
Africa.
They were using these in North Africa to combat against the Ottomans.
Mm-hmm.
This device is very well known in around 1930s, 1940s.
Yep.
But you might notice it's in a very unique color. It's dark red.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Mark, how often do they use dark red in vehicles?
Not too common. I would say this is a very a unusual and distinct choice for a color of this vehicle particularly. So yeah.
So yeah, this vehicle is really unique and cool.
It's a pretty cool vehicle, yeah.
You don't typically see half-tracks in Lego since it's technically classified as a military vehicle.
Exactly. Because of that closeness to like World War II vehicles, it's just like Lego wouldn't get too close to it under normal circumstances, but I think they can. It makes sense in this context, though.
Right, because this is desert
adventurers. Yeah, not wars. Yeah.
So continuing with play features, you notice these stairs. They can lift up,
mm-hmm.
and this is what I love about Lego.
Yeah,
they have so many different play features that you can just do anything with them.
Mm-hmm.
You just see, it's just a stairwell and it moves up. Well, what if you move the stairwell up? And out comes, oh no, the jackal guards. Or,
exactly.
Oh no, there's a bunch of snakes.
Yeah, scorpions, any kind of hazard could come out of there. So.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I like about, the Adventures and Pharaohs Quest line is that it creates imagination.
Mm-hmm.
It sparks it.
Yeah, exactly.
Moving on to our next play feature, I'll move this around.
For sure. Yeah.
You notice this strange little area right here.
Little doorway, maybe?
This little doorway.
Mm-hmm.
And it has, dynamite on it. What's
mm-hmm.
that all about? Now, Mark, can you push this little lever right here?
Yeah, let's try that here. Oh,
my
there
gosh. Boom.
That's awesome.
There goes the seals. There's the sarcophagi.
Mm-hmm.
So, Omset Ra is supposed to be laid to rest in this sarcophagi.
Trapped
inside this little catacomb.
Antechamber.
The
of sorts.
antechamber.
Yeah. That's cool.
Now, I want to take a moment to acknowledge this piece right here.
Mm-hmm.
It's in pearl gold.
Very nice, yeah.
How often did you see a pearl gold version of this?
I think that's the first instance of it, right? Yeah.
Yes.
And last, probably. So. Yeah.
Actually, they used it in one Scooby-Doo set.
You're right. Good to know. So.
But the blue coffin-looking piece is extremely exclusive to Pharaohs Quest.
Mm-hmm.
Because usually they just made it in like tan or black, sometimes brown, depending
mm-hmm.
on what line it is.
Exactly.
Like I just put that little boy in here, and you just push this lever right here, and it shoots right out.
Yep.
Pretty cool.
Yep. That dynamite making a very fun feature there.
So, walking up to a pyramid, do you think the door is going to be wide open?
No.
No.
Probably not. So.
If you move these two little cone pieces, they can move the door, so it's open or closed.
That's
and what
pretty fun.
I've seen some people do is they put a light up brick right here in the main chamber, So when you open it and it's shooting light out, it looks like there's something inside.
Yeah.
It's pretty impressive.
Magical treasure and all that, so yeah.
And I'll give you guys a chance to look at the inside of this pyramid.
Mm-hmm.
It's not really spacious. It's not very roomy in there.
More like tunnels and catacombs, right? Yeah. So.
But if you look right here, you walk through the door. I'll open up the door. And I'll put Archibald walking through. Whoop-de-doop-de-doo. Pull this switch right here. And a bunch of bricks can fall down on him. Oh no!
A great little trapdoor play feature. You gotta have a good booby trap, right?
Exactly. It's a pyramid. You have to have at least one booby trap.
Exactly. Well, this is a great set, Zach. I can see why the aftermarket price has gone up so much because it's great looking, great play features, great figures, great giant scorpion. It all comes together in a complete package.
Yes, not to mention the cool pieces such as the base plate, the scorpion, the Halftrack. All of these pieces are really awesome. Now,
So nice.
I feel like we've talked about this set for a while. Shall we move on to the next one?
Sounds like a good step here, Zach. We want to go to the next, the big
Yes,
Anubis
so let's
Sphinx
go
here.
for the Anubis Sphinx.
We can actually trade the spots here, too.
That would be a good idea. So this set is called Rise of the Sphinx. It's set 7326. And it
Excellent memory again.
It was sold for $49.99.
Mm-hmm.
So it was only about $50.
Yeah.
Now it can go for close to $130.
Yeah, so pretty expensive. Not as bad as the pyramid, but still pretty expensive.
And the most big takeaway for this set for me is that it's called Rise of the Sphinx, but this is not a Sphinx.
Mm-hmm.
This is a Anubis jackal or a Burmahan hound.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So in Egypt they had these big long-legged dogs called Burmahan hounds.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like the dog of the Pharaoh. You know how the Queen of England has her corgis and terriers?
Yeah, it's like a royal pet kind of thing, yeah.
So a Burmahan hound was like the dog of the Pharaohs.
Mm-hmm.
So with this set, you notice two things. Big head, short legs.
Mm-hmm.
Or, well, skinny legs, I should say.
Yes.
And I always found that really interesting. A lot of people, they say, this is the most disproportionate Lego set. Well, when you raise it up, give me 1 second while I raise it up.
Mm-hmm. You can adjust all the legs to
Adjust
stand up.
all the legs so you can get all the range of motion.
Yeah, that doesn't look too bad at all from here. I think it looks like a...
It's pretty on point.
Yeah. Yeah. This is a more difficult creature to accomplish in Lego, so I can see where some of that criticism could come from, but overall I think it definitely makes sense. It translates pretty well, especially from looking at it in person. So. But what's the treasure for this set? What were the adventurers trying to stop Amset Ra from getting?
So the treasure in Rise of the Sphinx is found in the base. So if you remember, on top of this little pedestal was the jackal.
Yeah.
And you see Jake Raines is coming up here with a dynamite. You know,
as usual.
Yeah, as usual. He likes blowing things up. He jumps head first, doesn't think about the consequences.
Mm-hmm.
But if you blow it up, and if you move this little switch back here, boom! Out comes the kabashi. So a kabashi, I might be botching the name, I apologize. But a kabashi is an Egyptian sword or skiff. So this little sword right here is the second item in the line of 6 treasures we talked about. So for the Scorpion Pyramid was the Nimi's headpiece.
Yep.
And now it's the kabashi. So the kabashi grants the pharaoh, if he's holding it, the power of ancient warriors of Egypt.
He can smite his foes with that golden sword. So.
No, he comes like Jackie Chan with awesome combat abilities. Yeah! It's like,
I can visualize that for sure. That's great.
So it just slides in here.
So that little kind of, it almost looks like a little trolley of sorts, but it reminds me of the Lost Ark. You can imagine them pulling that out in a ceremony and then handing him the sword, and then he takes over the world. So.
Yeah, so the twin scorpions represent the guardians of peace and balance. That's at least in the Egyptian lore.
Yeah.
So by guarding the sword with 2 gold scorpions represents that it can bring peace and balance. but I guess in a very violent way.
Or a cataclysmic conquest of the world, yeah. So that's why I can see why Jake Rain would be trying to stop that. And he also has his, this is a different version of Jake Rain, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So in the last LEGO set, you may have noticed that he's wearing a tan undershirt almost. That's his desert attire.
Yeah.
In this set, he's wearing his aviator jacket.
Leather jacket. Looking pretty cool.
So he's looking pretty cool.
Mhm.
From what I understand in the lure, after he flies on his airplane in the Impossible Obelisk set, he comes to the jackal to retrieve the sword. So he's still wearing his aviator jacket.
Yeah.
I guess at some point he took it off because it got too hot.
Yeah,
when he got to the pyramid.
A leather jacket would be pretty warm in Egyptian desert, so.
Very. Besides the long skinny legs and the cool pop-out feature, this set pretty much explains itself.
Yeah.
Jake Rains is coming along, he's coming to get the Kabashi sword. He takes it, and the jackal rises up and tries to attack him.
He's got to escape with his nice little roadster here. Another dark red vehicle, by the way.
Yes. So the thing you might notice with all these vehicles, they're all dark red. I have a theory that the LEGO designer really liked dark red LEGO pieces.
Yeah. Maybe there was also some attempt at a kind of common theme color for the explorers to have, so it's visually distinct versus all the tan and dark blue of the ancient Egyptian monsters and mummies. So, but yeah, it's interesting. It's if anyone knows more about it, I'd love to hear, but I think it makes sense.
Yeah, I would like to hear as well why they chose dark red. I mean, not that there's anything wrong with it. I love these pieces, the color. However, over time, they become just as fragile as reddish brown. Exactly,
and especially from this period. Anything from, like, I would say 2007 to about 2016 can have that danger of being brittle. And this is
very brittle.
Prime example, so you got to be careful with these.
So, I love these cars. You know, they have the Halftrack, the Chevy, and the Ford Roadster.
Yeah.
This, from what I understand, is actually Jake Rain's car.
Yeah.
The other two were just, loan outs for their expedition.
Yeah.
But this is actually Jake Rain's car,
His personal vehicle, yeah.
His personal vehicle, it represents him well. Hot-headedness, rushes into things, doesn't really think about it.
Exactly.
So I'd say we explained this set pretty well. Do you want to move on to the next one?
I think we've got it right in front of us here. We can kind of swap places here. Now this one also features a giant Egyptian monster. What do we have here?
So this is the Cursed Cobra statue, set 7325. Sorry.
There we go.
there's a really big jump between the first three and the last three.
Yes. I think I saw some information of that on Cheesy Studios' channel, who we've referenced before. There was a couple other sets between the two set numbers. They were filling in gaps. So.
From what I understand, between this set and the smaller sets, they put all these numbers on Life on Mars LEGO sets because apparently they didn't have marked numbers.
Yeah.
Back with the Cursed Cobra statue, this is one of my all-time favorite sets from this line.
Yeah.
I pretty much really like snakes. I mean, I don't want to get near them or anything, but snakes are one of my favorite things.
You have an admiration for snakes, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so.
And this snake in this statue of a snake is pretty well done. It's a very repetitive process. You just do the same thing over and over again.
Yeah. Flexible jointed pieces.
Yes.
Yeah.
But the thing I like the most about this is the frill.
Yeah, the giant plastic.
The giant plastic vinyl piece right here with the Lego glyphics, as they call them, not hieroglyphics. So what I understand about frills is that when a snake feels threatened, it can expand its ribs around its neck and make this giant frill. Now, of course, this one's made of stone, supposedly.
Yeah.
And what it does is that it sits on this cool pedestal.
Got a little stand
and
for
this
him.
little guy here, this is I call the snake charming mummy warrior. Now for Lego, it's just called Mummy Warrior 2.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, let's face it, he's a snake charmer.
He's got the snakes, yeah.
He comes along, and he is preventing Jake and Helena Tona Scavalling from getting the Scarab shield.
Yes, another one of the treasures. So.
Yes. So this is the golden Scarab shield. And this piece allows the Pharaoh complete protection and vulnerability. As long as he holds this Golden Scarab.
Nothing can hurt him.
Nothing can hurt him.
Wow. That would be very bad for a kind of world-conquering villain to have. So.
Yeah, it'd be like if Amset Ra just grabs this, and all of a sudden he becomes impenetrable to all pain, all sorts of weapons.
All the attacks.
All the attacks.
Guns would have no effect on him, yeah.
And speaking of guns, like you mentioned,
Mm-hmm.
Helena Tona Skvaling is an excellent marksman.
Nice. Yeah.
So in the comics, there's a comic series that came along with this in Lego Club, as you can see.
Like this right here.
Like this one right here.
Mm-hmm.
And in the magazine, in the comic,
Mm-hmm.
the way they defeat the Cobra is that there's a little crack right here. If you can see the crack right there.
Ah,
on the
right
tip
on
of
its
the
nose, yeah.
So Helena shoots the little crack, boom, the whole thing falls apart. And they get away with the Golden Scarab shield. So out of all 6 Lego sets, this one is my favorite.
Yes, and this is one that you had as a kid, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
so I would play with this all the time. I'd drive my little desert
Off-roader. Yeah.
desert off-roader and make it run into the snake, run it over, do all kinds of bad things to it. Sorry, buddy.
Yeah, the snake was the bad guy, right? Had to take a few hits here and there.
Take a few hits.
Yeah. This is a great set, though. You got that excellent posability, this huge plastic frill, doing a lot of work and making it look really cool. Great figures. It's cool to see the only female character in the Pharaohs Quest line
Yes.
appear in this set.
So I always found it interesting that, Helena only appears in this one Lego set.
Yeah.
Just like Archbold only showed up in the Scorpion Pyramid.
Mhm.
That was very interesting. I guess Jake Raines is the glory hog. He's the Johnny Thunder of this line.
He's in almost every set, I think, right? Yeah.
He's in every
pretty
set
much-
except for one.
Yeah. There we go.
But one last thing I want to talk about with the snake are these golden pieces right here.
Oh, yeah, those curved
These
bricks.
curved
yeah.
bricks. Now, I'm going to tell you something that's probably going to blow your mind.
Mm-hmm.
This color, the pearl gold,
Yeah.
it only exists in this set and one other.
So this set and one other is where you can find this shape and this color combo. So.
I'll give you a chance to take one guess what that set was.
Oh, let's see. So if it's this year, would have been 2011. I'm guessing it's something Ninjago, but I could be wrong.
It's Ceci Tin's Jedi Starfighter.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
So this and Ceci Tin's Jedi Starfighter are the only sets that include this piece and pearl gold.
Mm-hmm. Good
Pretty
to know.
cool.
I did not know that, Zach. That's awesome. So.
Makes it even better because it comes with like 8 or 9.
Yeah, like
10.
a
A good number.
it comprises a large portion of the snake's body with those pieces, which are very cool. So, yeah. Great
So
set.
continuing down the line, since we finished our built sets,
Some of the bigger ones are out of the way here.
we'll move to these smaller sets.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
This one is my least favorite from the line, and I'll explain why in just 1 minute.
For sure.
So this is the Flying Mummy Attack. It's set 7307. So
Yep.
you might notice the big skip. Yeah.
You got it
I
right
didn't
there.
even
You weren't even
look at
looking.
it.
Yeah. That was good.
And it only has 125 pieces.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I did some comparisons with sets of this size because it was sold for about $20.
Yeah.
Another set that came out about 2 years earlier, the Temple Escape from Indiana Jones,
Mhm.
where they're in the Well of Souls,
Yes. A great set.
is the same size.
Mhm.
But it has 275 pieces.
So a lot more pieces, and it was about the same price as well?
Yeah, it was about $20.
Yeah. That's
That's
a not good
that-
price comparison. Yes.
No.
Yeah.
And the reason why, and I have my own theory to this,
Mhm.
if you read the lure and you understand certain powers of each of the treasures,
Yeah.
one of them has the control over animals, which is the smallest set,
Mm-hmm. Little crystal.
and it mentions control over the smallest dung beetle to the mightiest crocodile.
Mhm.
It controls vultures, jackals, and scorpions.
Mm-hmm.
Keyword is vulture.
Yes.
I feel like they were going to include like a big vulture of some sort,
Mm-hmm.
but it got too complicated for them.
Yeah.
So they like dipped out. and
Dialed
said,
it back.
Dialed it
yeah.
back.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why this set only has 125 pieces.
Yeah.
Because if they're just doing 125 pieces, they could have made the bi-camel biplane
Mm-hmm.
like way bigger.
Yeah.
They could have made the obelisk way bigger.
More terrain or something, yeah.
So there's a lot of theories about why this set only had 125 pieces.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. I think it's still a nice set, but it was probably a little expensive for its time. So.
Yeah, so it was $19.99, so it was one of the cheaper of the three, and I had this one as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
If you notice right here, the treasure that you're looking for out of the 6...
Nice little graphic there,
Very nice graphic. Shows all the treasures you're hunting.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like the chasers.
Yep.
And this is the soul diamond.
Mm.
So the soul diamond goes on top of the golden staff and allows the pharaoh to be able to create mirages. So by using the soul diamond, he can create sandstorms out of nowhere. He can make a blue sky cover up a sandstorm, leading his enemies to danger.
Yep. Extremely powerful reality-bending magic here.
Reality-bending, woo!
Reminds me of Thanos with the red reality stone, just messing with everyone's minds, yeah. So.
And where this soul diamond is on top of this obelisk.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in ancient Egypt, an obelisk is an impenetrable tower that stretches to the sky, or the heavens, as they call it.
Yeah.
And it is supposed to say in these Lego glyphics, it's impenetrable and unclimbable.
Yeah.
Now, of course, when I translate it doesn't say that. It just says a bunch of random things.
Yeah.
But the way Jake Raines gets the diamond is by using his bicamel biplane.
Mm-hmm.
And it has this cool feature where it brings down this lever, and it has this piece that can grab the diamond.
Yep.
Just swoop in, grab the diamond.
That works.
Now, can you hand me the flying mummy right there?
Ah, yes. Here you go.
Thank you. Mm-hmm. So there are 2 of these flying mummy guys in this Lego set.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously the big key takeaway is the wingspan.
Very nice wing back piece.
This was the very first time they introduced this piece.
Yes.
So you might notice it with like a couple of Marvel figures like the Vulture or Falcon or even Ninjago minifigure.
Yes.
This was the very first time they introduced this piece.
Yeah. Looks
now,
great.
Obviously, they prefer to do vinyl for a lot of things, but I still think this piece is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's very three-dimensional, has some great printing on both sides. Makes a very cool figure, for sure.
And this is one of the 3 mummy warriors that Pharaoh Ra summons.
You
so
got 2 here and 1 from the Big Pyramid, right? So.
Yes.
Yeah.
Here you go.
Very cool.
So continuing on, let's talk about the box art, because it's the first time we're really looking at the box art.
For sure.
That is a beautiful symbol for Pharaoh's Quest.
Exactly. You got those blue letters, the big golden, very scary looking Pharaoh's head there, and the tan and dark orange background. Super cool.
So, with Pharaoh's Quest symbol, this is blue azure. Blue azure came from the Nile and was a very rare stone.
Yes.
So the pharaohs would use blue azure and pure gold to make all their jewelry, all their statues, everything. So by doing blue azure and gold for the symbol, it shows that this is a really important line.
Absolutely. And kind of shows, like, throughout the entire set line with all the Egyptian stuff, you see that blue and gold repeating, so it's a very nice color scheme. So.
Yeah, so the most repeated colors in this line are dark tan, dark red, and dark blue. Very cool colors. I love them. Another theme I noticed is the linen wrapping that makes it look like it's a mummy.
Looks great. Immediately sets the tone and the mood for each of these sets. So.
Continuing down the line of the Lego sets, we only have 2 more. Don't worry, guys. This is one of my sealed sets.
Nice.
So this is the Golden Staff Guardian, set 7305. Is it 6? That's 6.
06.
Oh, no.
7306.
7306.
There you go. I did not know that off the top of my head. I just read the box.
And it only has 70 pieces inside of it.
Yeah.
This is one of my all-time favorite Lego sets because of the motorcycle.
Yes.
I love Lego motorcycles. Now, you know, the Lego Indiana Jones motorcycle chase from the 3rd movie. I can't remember off the top of my head.
Last Crusade?
Last Crusade,
yeah.
thank you.
Yeah.
I was thinking Temple of Doom.
One of those. Yeah.
Last Crusade, I played with that so much. And when this set came out, I had another motorcycle, and I played so much with it.
Yeah. A lot of fun play with those smaller, cool vehicles. So.
Now you notice that Jake Raines is not in this Lego set.
He's absent.
He's absent.
Interesting.
This is the only Lego set to not include Jake Raines in the entire line. So, this is McLoud. This is like Jake's partner. He's like the Bucky to Captain America.
Yeah, the sidekick. So.
And what Lego explains for Mac is that he's very unlucky.
I was reading that on Wikipedia. I'm like, this is the most unlucky adventure ever, apparently.
Yeah, if there's a trap, he'll spring it. If there's quicksand, he'll fall in it.
Mm-hmm.
But where he falls shy of avoiding traps and knowing ancient societies, he's very good with explosives, and he's very good with mechanics.
Yes. So he's able to fix all the vehicles and they break down in the desert. So.
Yeah, so if they break down, he can rebuild it with like duct tape and a screwdriver.
Mm-hmm.
He's like MacGyver or something.
That sounds great. A guy you want on your adventure team, yeah.
Of course. So. And in this set, you see he's on his motorcycle and he's retrieving the golden staff on this little pedestal. So here he is. He's got the golden staff.
He's got it.
So the golden staff is the 5th of 6 treasures of Womset Raw.
Mm-hmm.
And if the Pharaoh gets this staff, he can allow his mummies to be almost invincible. Almost as invincible as him.
It strengthens all his troops, yeah.
So it increases their durability, their protection, all sorts of stuff. And if you put the soul diamond on top of it, it magnifies that power.
Yeah.
So it makes it, you can't even see his mummy army coming at you. And a lot of people think that this motorcycle piece here is the same as the one from Indiana Jones. You know, the Chichili cemetery attack.
Yeah.
It is not.
Interesting.
And I have under my hat the very motorcycle from the Chichili cemetery.
So this is from the Indiana Jones.
This is from the Indiana Jones.
That was a good trick there. So that one, yeah, it is different. It's black with a little bit of red. This one's red with a little bit of gray or black there. So.
Yeah, so this is red with black. This one is black with red.
So inverted.
So it's inverted. Pretty impressive.
I like it.
Very cleverly done.
Exactly. Some variety for the motorcycles there. So.
Adds a lot of variety. So with this set, you notice it has 2 lights. That was very uncommon for motorcycles back then.
Yeah, normally it'd have the single light in the front, right?
Right. So Harley Davidson, one of the OG motorcycle builders, only put 1 light on motorcycles. But for military advances, they would put 2 lights. You know, better chance of seeing where you're going.
Yeah, or if one goes out, the other one will still work.
So moving on, this is the last Lego set from the Pharaohs Quest line.
Standard one, aside from the polybags and a few other
polybags, few other
the box sets. Yeah.
These are the last of the box sets. And this is the Scarab attack set 7305.
You got it. There you go.
And it only had 44 pieces.
Yeah.
This set was only sold for $4.99.
Actually, a pretty good deal if you think about it. So yeah.
But now it goes for $30 on the aftermarket.
It's gone up a bit, for sure.
Yeah, just a little bit of a bump up.
Yeah. Not as bad as some that we've talked about, but it's still...
Yes.
That's gone up, yeah.
And you might note that this set only has Jake Raines in his desert attire.
Yep.
That's because this set is primarily where you get your gear. So pickaxe, pistol, rifle, all the stuff that you need for, exploration.
Camping in the desert, yeah.
But for me, the big takeaway for this is, and I think you're going to love it, the golden crystal.
I do love crystals, and that's the Rock Raiders style of crystal there.
Crystal.
Yeah.
So, if the Pharaoh were to retrieve this golden crystal, he has control over animals.
Yeah.
So remember how I said before, control over animals? This is the magical artifact that you used.
That's the one that helps him take over things like the giant serpent, the giant scarab beetles, scorpions, snakes, all that stuff.
So in the comic, when Jake grabs the ancient artifact, it activates all the guardians. So they come after him because they're like, "Oh, you're not worthy to touch this. It has to be only touched by the Pharaoh." So by touching this crystal, boom, everything happens all at once.
Yeah, a lot of bad stuff happens immediately.
So the blue Scarab in this set has 2 exclusive prints on its backside to make it look like a stone bead.
those larger slopes, kind of like how you had with the Scorpion with the printed slopes. This has them too, so pretty nice for $5.
So the Scarab, the Cobra, and the Scorpion all have the printed pieces in this line.
Nice.
That's really impressive.
Yeah, very cool. Like especially for a smaller item, it's great. But there's a couple other kind of ancillary sets that we have. These accessories. We want to go through those here too.
So you want to start with the blister pack marker?
This one I think is the most substantial. You got a bunch of stuff going on here.
Yes, I love blister packs, and I'm pretty sure you like blister packs too from Castle Line.
That's where I know them from, but I didn't really know about this one until researching for this video. But what do we got here?
So the blister pack came out a few months after the line, so this was one of the last things they made.
Yeah.
And basically what I think is they had a bunch of these leftover mummies, so they were putting them inside of these blister packs.
And a convenient way to get more action figures for your scene and to battle with. So yeah.
This is how you build up your mummy army to combat Jake Reigns.
Exactly.
You know, the Pharaoh had a multitude of mummies coming after Jake. There's probably like hundreds.
Yeah.
This is how you build up your army.
Exactly.
Now, if you notice inside this chest, or the sarcophagi, there's a bunch of jewels and treasures inside.
Yeah.
So it's like the mummy's treasure. This was a really good way to get, diamond pieces.
Exactly, gemstones, that kind of thing.
So they had it in like red, clear, and green, which are the most common. So if you don't want to just buy this just for the mummies, you can also buy it for crystals.
Exactly. Add some more treasure to your loot pile. So.
Also, it comes with little scorpion pieces. So you can build up your fauna.
Exactly. And this was, I think, around $15 back in the day? Would that be the right price?
Yeah, this is $15. Well, it was $15. Now it goes for about $45.
Yeah, so it's gone up a bit.
And it's not very common to find these on Bricklink because, little kids just like, rip this thing off and get the minifigures
Nobody's thought to save these, unlike maybe the bigger ones, which are more iconic. So.
Now, I had 2 of these, so I kept one sealed because I really like this display. I guess I was ahead of my time on some things.
That's good.
So I found this really impressive, and I really liked it.
Absolutely.
Now, I want to talk about the polybags, Mark.
Let's do it.
There's a big story with these polybags.
Is that so?
So these polybags are European exclusive.
Okay, that is a notable exception from the rest of these, so interesting.
So you know those minifigure things you get in magazines nowadays, like Marvel, Star Wars, Ninjago?
Those little kind of foil pack figure,
These were basically the original foil packs.
Gotcha, okay.
So in the United Kingdom, and I think maybe bits and pieces
like Germany or
Netherlands and Germany, but it was mostly United Kingdom. If you ordered a subscription to like a magazine or a newspaper, they would give these to you for free.
Interesting.
So these weren't available in China. They weren't available in the United States. They were only available in the United Kingdom and certain parts of Europe. So these are really cool polybags too.
Yeah, so kind of hard to find for that reason then, I'm
Very
guessing.
hard to find.
Yeah.
If you go on Bricklink, you can only find them in the United Kingdom too.
Yeah, that's where they tend to be located, right? Yeah.
I'm lucky enough to have 2 of these.
That is pretty cool, yeah. And both sealed, too.
Yeah,
nice.
both sealed.
Yeah.
So these are really good ways to get your main character in both formats. So you see, this is the Desert Rover. It's like his little car.
Yep.
And he's in his desert attire.
Yep, got his tan shirt on. So.
And in this set, it's the Desert Glider. And he's wearing his aviator clothes, which was only found in 2 of the sets.
Exactly.
So this was the cheapest way you could get this. Well, probably not now.
Yeah, back in the day, this would have been the affordable way to get that cool version of Jake there.
So these were basically free with subscriptions of newspapers or magazines. Now, if you wanted to get this, it's going to cost you $15.
Yeah.
And to find it sealed is pretty rare.
Yeah, especially if you're paying for shipping over from the UK. So. We also had this magnet pack here, and we were talking about this before the video, but the tragedy behind this is that they're glued. So
Glued.
Otherwise cool, but yeah, they didn't learn that if you just attach them without gluing them, it's way more valuable to collectors and fans. So, yeah.
So that's another thing is it came with that really cool tile piece with the map. But alas, it's glued.
Also glued. Shucks. That would have made it a very more useful piece if we could separate that and put it in a scene.
So you note that has Jake, Anubis Guard, and Omset Ra. These are also the exact same minifigures they used for the keychains, which we currently do not have on hand.
Yeah.
But these were considered the chasers, the most important minifigures from the entire series.
Yeah, kind of the headliners, yeah.
They wanted to display them, you know? It's like, these are really cool minifigures. Look what exists.
Exactly. Put them on your fridge. Yeah, decorate your stuff. Yeah, and then we also have that coin bank there. You want to describe that for us?
I will display this proudly.
Now, when did you get this one? Was this one that was more recent acquisition?
I did not know that this even existed until this year.
Mm-hmm.
So, on Bricklink, this is not classified as a Lego set. It's classified as Lego gear.
Gear, yeah.
So, when you go on Bricklink and you're looking for this, you're not going to find it under sets. You have to go to gear.
Mm-hmm.
So, I classify it kind of as a Lego set, but it's not.
It's like kind of in that weird gray area. It has definitely Lego parts, but also has some very non-Lego elements which add an interesting feature.
So in 2011, in the early 2000s, Lego decided they wanted to make piggy banks, but including Lego pieces.
Yes.
So Lego made 3 Lego banks. One of them was from the Castle line, which included the Black Dragon head.
Cool.
So it pops like the Black Dragon head out from like this side and it eats the coin and brings it back in.
That's cool.
The other one that's in this line is the Pirates 2. So they made a big like pirate ship.
Yeah.
And you know that really rare glow-in-the-dark octopus that came in Ultra Agents? It was also included in that coin bank.
Interesting.
So the way it works is that, you know, the pirate ship's rocking back and forth. It tilts up, and out comes the octopus to grab the coin, and it brings it in. Now, those 2 sets are very expensive on Bricklink.
Yes.
But this one is not too expensive.
Not too bad, huh?
So when it first came out back in 2011, it was only about $20.
Yeah.
Roughly. Now it only goes for about $40 to $50.
Yeah,
depending on where you're getting it from.
Yeah.
And let's just take a moment to admire all this box art on this.
Great printing all the way around. So.
The Anubis, the Lego glyphs, the snake itself,
the
representation of Pharaoh's Quest. It's very impressive. Very good box art.
Yeah.
And this is thick cardboard. They don't want people just, you know, breaking it open and taking the money out.
This is more than your typical Lego box. It's much more thick and sturdy. So.
Very thick. You want to hold it?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, it's a pretty solid piece. You got these different features here on the side. I'm tempted to play with them. What do those do, Zach? What's the function for this one?
So, you notice right here is a little compartment that you can flip down. And you can put a little lock on.
Yeah.
This is what holds the money.
That's where it's all stored.
So that's where you store all your coins.
Yeah.
It's not a very big drawer, though.
Yeah.
So,
a couple dollars worth of quarters in there.
Maybe $4 or $5 if you're lucky. A few cents. The way this works is that you twist these little knobs. Now note, you can't go this way.
Yeah.
That's because a Lego L piece is blocking a blade saw.
Yeah, a gear, yeah.
So there's a gear called a blade saw that has little ridges. You know, they use in power miners, not forestmen, the forest line from Lego City.
Yes.
That keeps it from moving forward. You can only move it backwards. And see how it raises this Cobra up? And this Cobra uses the exact same frill piece from the Cursed Cobra.
Yeah.
You see them next to each other. So it comes down, and this is where you put the coin. And on its nose piece right here, it drags the coin into the little slot.
Nice.
And it raises it up. And it can do it again and again. You want to give it a try, Mark?
I would love to. That's pretty cool. You know, it'd be cool if you got like a power function and were able to power a feature like this. You could have it be part of a scene. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, you can put like a little motor here and just push the button and it does it. Then you can just like put a little slot here that brings the coins down for you. That'd be pretty cool.
That's fun.
So this was one of the last gear pieces that they made. I really like this coin bank.
Yeah.
And I was sad that they didn't continue making coin banks from later lines. Like, could you imagine if they did a Lego Dreams coin bank? You know, the little kid sleeping and he dreams the coins being put down, slowly getting rich while he's asleep.
It's cool to have that kind of functional physical feature in a set, because these are definitely playable. Like, you got flexible creatures, but this one, you turn a gear and it does something. That's kind of a new element. So.
And that's why this is classified as Lego gear and not a set, because it has function.
All this extra kind of cool cardboard box with hinges and stuff. It's awesome.
So moving on, I'll display the one Lego Club magazine I was able to salvage from my tragic background history of
the only thing you were able to
magazines.
recover from your collection, yeah.
So this is called the Lego Club magazine, but it's called the School Edition. This was the first, and I think might have also been the last issue that they did for the School Edition.
Interesting.
So if you're familiar with earlier years of Lego, they they got everything from Lego Club magazine, so they could display all their stuff, give lure, storytelling, all that sort of stuff.
Comics, yeah.
But in the School Edition, what they did is they have information regarding ancient Egypt artifacts, like the Rosetta Stone here. And it also displays the minifigures that are part of the story.
Actual locations of ancient Egypt, yeah.
The pyramids, Valley of the Kings. I think there was even one picture.
You got mummies here.
Explaining mummies. And then, of course, there's the comic. This is not tied to the actual comic that gives you the lure. This is just a comic.
Standalone comic, yeah.
That displays, the story. This is one of my favorite things that I love about Lego Club magazine. Is the pictures of all the little kids that are building their sets and displaying what they do.
Absolutely. And
you don't see that in magazines very much because everybody just does it on social media. But this is one of my favorite features about Lego Club.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the puzzles. Gotta love those puzzles. And this is where you can learn the Lego glyphs and what the symbols are.
Interesting. If they were designed to make any sense.
Yes, so very rarely they make it so they make sense, which is sad. And it continues on.
More information and puzzles and posters. Very cool.
I just love Lego Club magazine because I was a little kid, about 10 or 11, and I'd go to the mill and I'd get my magazine. I could read cool comics, learn cool features about Lego sets, all sorts of stuff.
A lot of nostalgia tied to these things, right? So, yeah. Very cool. Well, that's about it, but we do have this sarcophagus here.
Yes.
What is this here, Zach? What are we looking at?
So, this is actually from the Lego Adventures line, this little sarcophagus. And it's just a big plastic container, can unscrew on the bottom and hold your Lego sets.
Yes.
Well, what's that? Oh, there's something inside you? What are you talking about? Should I open it?
We better open it up and make sure. Let's see what that is.
What's this?
Oh, what do we got in there?
It's a weird cutout of some sort made out of paper.
Oh my goodness. Is that the final thing that we got from Pharaoh's Quest? The amazing cutout of Sobek Ra?
Yes, so this is Sobek Ra. And if you know Lego Club, they had a website.
He's flying to get the heroes. Look out.
So
now, what is the story with Sobek Ra? We gotta explain this for people who don't know what's going on here.
I will explain word for word what Lego said about Sobek Ra.
Let's hear it.
Beware the wrath of Sobek Ra. Jake Raines and his team may have collected the treasures and stopped the pharaoh Amset Ra from taking over the world, but their adventure isn't over yet. When Amset Ra was trapped inside the Scorpion Pyramid, his magic unleashed one final guardian. Now a stone statue has come to life in the form of the winged crocodile, Sobek Ra. And it's out to destroy the heroes who defeated its evil master. Get a parent's permission and follow the instructions below to print out, cut out, and assemble this new Pharaoh's Quest monster.
It's an amazing addition that I don't think I've ever seen done before in Lego, or even since. Because, they didn't have this for Iceland, they didn't have this for Castle, but it's so funny and cool. It's just such a weird little character. It's great.
So, the way you got this is by entering a code on lego.com.
Solving a puzzle, yeah.
And the way you got those secret letters, because there's 4 letters, and it spells out the word Jake.
Yes.
If you got 4 issues of the Lego Club magazine, at the end of the comic, it reveals one letter. So if you had all 4 issues that showed the comic,
or you had a friend that had them, maybe,
or had a friend, or somebody, or you just went on the internet like I did.
Yeah, after the fact, yep.
You would get the 4 letters and type it in on Lego.com/Pharaohs Quest, and you could get this nifty little cutout and make the last Guardian.
Exactly. Now, it's a little bit different looking compared to some of the other ones, but I think there's some funny details to note. First of all, you got the very human ears.
Very human ears.
On the side, you got his tail. He's got a little skirt piece. He's got these blue wings, and he's got a very angry expression. He's a bad villain.
Yeah, he's got this big snout, and he's got these tiny little feet. And let's compare him to the size of a minifigure.
He's pretty big. I mean, he's at least probably 4 or 5 blocks tall. Yeah, so it's such a funny inclusion and an extra detail that they didn't really have to do, but they decided to anyway for a fun Lego Club collectible feature. It's pretty interesting.
So at the very end of 2012, they released the link to get this.
Yeah.
So everybody was able to access it just by going on the internet. Like what I did was I just went to Brick Sets, and they had this lure.
Yeah.
And they showed the image for the cutout.
Yeah.
And I just copied and pasted it, and I was able to get it because this was not from my childhood.
Yeah. Now, I saw this recently while doing some research on Brickopedia. You can also find it there, too. So if you look around, it's not too hard to track down the original printable copy for Sobek Raw and make him yourself with a little bit of tape and ingenuity.
A little ingenuity.
A little glue.
I have the luck of having a surgeon hand, so I was able to put it together pretty well.
That's great.
But it was pretty challenging to cut it out. I can only imagine what a little 5-year-old or a 10-year-old would do. And you cutting it, and he actually cuts off a big part of it. And he's like, "Oh no!
The wings cut off. Oh no!" Yeah, well, thankfully you could always print another one if you needed to. So, yep.
But this was the very last thing they did for the Pharaohs Quest line.
That was it. So, yeah. Unfortunately, Pharaohs Quest only lasted the 1 year. Maybe it didn't sell that well during that time. Maybe it wasn't what Lego wanted to move forward with. We don't really know the whole story. It's sad to see that this is kind of like the end of Adventurers in a way, because this is such a spiritual successor to that original trilogy of themes. Actually, there's 4 of them if you count Orient Expedition as well. But this is a really fun collection of sets. Great theme, great art pieces, great figures. So much to like. And Zach, thank you so much for bringing these all the way to the studio here, taking the time to explain them all in detail. I didn't know any of these details before today, so it's really cool to know. And hopefully the viewers appreciate it too, get a deep dive into all the Pharaohs Quest knowledge. So
I hope you've taken at least 1 grain of salt from this, is that Pharaohs Quest is a really cool line, and it has a lot to go for it.
Exactly.
Even though it sadly only lasted about a year and only had 1 wave of 6 sets and so on, it still had a lot of lure.
Yeah.
With Atlantis and Power Miners, they had great lure too. But this set, it was tied to a bunch of different things, and it just put it together really well.
Yeah. I think we can all celebrate the cool factor of all these sets even now. And some of them are more accessible than you'd think, so it's worth checking out. I know we at Atlanta Brickco have a number of sealed Pharaohs Quest sets in stock right now, so you can go to atlbrick.com and check them out. Small plug. Anyway.
Don't tempt me with a good time, Mark. You know I'd want to buy those.
Well, thank you again, Zach, and thank you all for watching this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. We'll have many more cool videos like this coming out very, very soon. So, take care.
See you on the Nexus.
Absolutely.